All the time I work with sand, all the time I'm thinking that it's really like our life. We can never stop the moment wherever good it is. Even when I'm very happy with my children, I have 3, I can never say, I'm so happy, please, life, make a pause. I cannot do that. The same is with sand. Never, never, ever, any single image can be left as it is. Anyway, it will flit, and finally it will finish, and it's normal, it's very good.
Super great. And I'm also curious, how did sand become your medium?
It's a story. I never ever thought I will stand on any stage in my life before Got Talent, actually before I first took sand in my arms when I was 24. We had a business with my husband. We were young businessmen. We did a glance magazine, very creative, very silly people who thought that they can survive even during the crisis. But we were a private magazine about culture, and of course during 2008 our magazine collapsed. We lost everything because even our car was under credit for this publishing house. And there was a period when we had nothing to eat, even with a little baby who was 1. But not because of money, because of the thing that you lost your life, your creative life. I was pretty young and I was crying all the time. My husband was a bit wiser and older than me. One day he brought a bag of sand, said, "Stop crying, please try doing something with this." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Sand." "Really?" "Yeah." So together with my son, we opened the box and started doing something on glass. Yes, this animation, this genre existed before, but nobody told stories. People just drew pictures. And I thought, interesting thing, I can tell my stories, my pain or my happiness into this thing. So all the day I was a mother of a 1-year-old boy. At night he went to bed and I was drawing till 4 a.m. and I was so happy with good music. During that time, my husband secretly signed me on one of the talent show. And imagine guys, I was a book illustrator, I never stepped on any stage. So like he said, "You know what, you'll go with this stuff, I'll put it in some room, good people will look at it, and you'll go home." Okay. In half a month I won the show and became international artist. I'm still surprised all the time what is going on in my life.
Talent, apparently.
Actually, I'm still shy on the stage.
Kseniya, the story you just showed us, the art that you just created, can you tell us a little bit more about this story?
This story was shown on Britain's Got Talent Champions and got a golden buzzer from Amanda Holden. And I'm very proud of this story because all my stories are based on real things. Because real people normally inspire me. I was volunteering for a few years in the hospital for cancer kids. I was just bringing sand pictures there because some kids wanted to see a girl from TV. And as you know, the kids under cancer, they really need good emotions. And I was just very happy to come and bring some emotion. I met a girl there who really wanted to see me. She was under treatment for 5 years already, so it was returning, and she wanted to go home to die because she was tired. She was only 7. And she said, "Before I go, I want to see this girl from TV." I came there and I was sitting on my knees under her chair. It was a box where nobody can come without a costume, you know, because they cannot have interaction with outside world. And I was just saying something to make her smile. 2 hours I was trying to say something funny and she didn't smile because normally they don't smile. And finally she did. It was the happiest moment in my life, I think. And I remember that forever. So she went under the treatment. Unfortunately, she passed away, like most of the kids who I was working with. So my job was actually creating sad stories about the children. What I did, I read a story of a kid, how many siblings he had, what he loved before the illness. Then I drew his illness, and then I drew how he recovers. And this is kind of a treatment stories, which I made something like maybe 30 stories. Unfortunately, most of my heroes passed away, but it's life. And this is one of kind of a story which mixes up everything I saw. And I'm very happy to say that I knew from Britain people show it in hospitals now for kids. And this is my biggest win. bigger than winning any Got Talent.
Yeah, that's so inspiring. Thank you for sharing that story with us here. Looking here at the audience, they're quite in the dark, but they're sitting there, I promise you. We have a whole bunch of storytellers, we have world-class creative people, we have strategists, we have a few bosses as well. They're also great. From your perspective, Kseniya, what makes for a truly great story?
I think being sincere. So really doing something you really feel touching you. I don't think that doing something which you imagine to touch everybody, but you don't feel anything, it's not a good idea. That was my method for Got Talent, my real stories. Sometimes people who work together with me on Got Talents, they said, "You really think it will be interesting?" I said, "No, it's interesting for me."
Yeah.
I think this is important.
That's a great answer. It's a really good takeaway for all of us here. And I also have to ask one final question. Where does the sound come from?
Interesting thing. Before everything, I used regular one, the sea sand, which actually is not good because the structure is round and they go away. They don't hold. This sand is volcanic one. I also work with river sand. Sometimes it's just the sand from the playgrounds of my kids. Normally I bring from 5 to 10 kilos of volcanic sand with me, but sometimes as I really perform and travel a lot, during the transportation they lose my bags with sand, and sometimes the event is right after the plane. So like a few months ago in Norway, it was a funny thing. I had to buy a sand in the pet shop. It was a hamster sand, and actually it was very good. So now in Norway we have a hamster sand. Welcome everyone.
Oh, that's good. And that's also maybe tells us something about sand, that it's so great.
You know what? I understood that the thing is not in sand, the thing is here.
Yeah.
Before that I was sure that the sand must be very specific. I think now I can draw with dust. I didn't try, but I will.
Kseniya, thank you so much for sharing your talent with us. You have a good gift here.